Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello, and welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this and any other conversation I ignite going constructively over on my Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to today's Doctor Who Daily. And you probably notice I'm very excited because later on today I'm going to see part 1 of the season 12 Doctor Who finale. And that, of course, is really, really exciting for me. And I thought, why don't I do a video before I watch it? I'll give you not a reaction tomorrow because we can't say a word about it. That's it. I'll never be able to watch a brand new episode of Doctor Who again, right? But you'll see from my face what's going on, basically. We'll discuss it all tomorrow. But before I see part 1 of this week's Doctor Who episode, the first part of this gripping season finale, I thought I'd talk about, be a bit more candid about maybe what we're going to get in this double finale. Look, the first episode's called The Ascension of the Cybermen. That's what it's called, right? And then you've got The Timeless Children. All right, let's cut the crap. Unless you're not paying attention, it's pretty obvious that The Timeless Children are the other versions of the Doctor we haven't met yet. All 13, including Ruth, right, standing there, it's definitely them. And we knew this leak from before. And also, these versions of the Doctor we haven't met will be played by women and women of colour, right? That's a fact. This is what's happening there. There may be a few kind of Hail Marys thrown in there with actors and stuff, but mainly they'll be portrayed by women of colour. So basically, again, if you don't realise this, you're not paying attention. The Doctor is the timeless child, right? Or something else. We could have been thrown off the bat here because maybe the Master's the timeless child. Maybe the Master didn't come from Gallifrey, not the Doctor. I've been assuming from the beginning here that the Doctor and the Master are brother and sister. They were found on another world and they were taken and used by the Time Lords. They wasn't Time Lords at the time, but once they kind of took the ability to regenerate away from the Doctor, or not away, but used them for that ability, they were able to become Time Lords, create the TARDISes, and observe what's going on within the universe. Now, that was my number one theory, but there could be another thing here, right? That elbow. Got to sort that bloody chair out. Anyway, right, yeah. So there could be another theory here, that actually the Master was found on this off-world planet, used for the ability to regenerate, right? And maybe the Master's actually a lot older than the Doctor. We don't know that, but that could be a theory, right? And maybe you'll say to me, but in the classic episode 1002, this happened, so it can't be. You can comment down below and tell me that. I don't know every single Doctor Who fact and figure. Just because I love Doctor Who, it doesn't mean I know everything. So I'm always glad for people who watched, the classic series with, eyes like that, to let me know about things I don't know. I found something else from a fan yesterday, found out something else. That apparently, I don't want to go in the end of time wasn't actually a line. He was just going to regenerate. And then I think David Tennant just said it and he really wanted to say it, so they did it. Pretty awesome, right? I didn't know that. So I'm always glad to find out new Doctor Who facts and figures. So right, going back to the Master theory. So yeah, let's call this the Master theory. So they found him on a planet. They used him, right? They used him. And actually, the Timeless Child is the Master. And the Timeless Children, including Ruth, are 13 regenerations of the Master. Because we haven't met many of the versions of the Master. So there could have been a set of other regenerations. Could this be actually other versions? So, why was Ruth calling herself the Doctor? How can Ruth have a TARDIS that is disguised as a 1960s police box? I can't bloody answer that. But it is another theory that, in fact, Ruth isn't the Doctor. Now, Chris Chibnall has told us there's no tricks. it's definitely the Doctor. Chris Chibnall lies in a good way to keep the surprise element for us, right? So lies in that aspect are fine. People lie. That's life, right? Anyway, so they could be versions of the Master. It's probably unlikely, but it's another theory. But the favourite theory is the one I've been going on about for weeks now. Ever since we saw Fugitive of the Judoon, the Doctor and the Master are siblings, brother and sister, or brothers, or whatever you want to, or however you want to reference them is up to you. Even Jodie the other day in an interview was joking. She said, "Oh, she goes, he," and she started laughing because it gets confusing and you forget sometimes, don't you? I get the problem you have there, Jodes. But anyway, right? So let's just say that they're siblings. They were found on another planet. They were used for the ability to be able to regenerate, which is maybe the regeneration technology that they're able to do. The energy also gave the Time Lords the ability to build the TARDISes, and they use both of them. So they're not from Gallifrey, actually, the Doctor and the Master, in my theory, and they used them. So are the Doctor and the Master both the time? They could be the timeless children, or are the timeless children the 13 regenerations of the Doctor we haven't met before, apart from when we met Ruth in Fugitive of the Judoon? Will they stand with the Doctor, our Doctor, which would make 14 of them, to fight the Cybermen in the conclusion of this two-parter? I think that's a very, very good chance. So are those versions of the Doctor, the ones that were leaked? We were leaked this information weeks before the show even aired, right? And from this moment, I just don't see anything kind of that's scuppered that leak. At first, I thought, oh, this is bullshit. This is the fandom menace just trying to create, manipulate kind of bad feeling towards Chibnall. But it looks like it's true. Ruth's reveal proves there's something going on here. So yeah, I think the odds-on theory is that Ruth and these are other regenerations of the Doctor that we've never met. What the timeline is and where they figure. Are they from the Doctor's future? Well, I suppose maybe the Doctor's mind was wiped. Maybe that's why she can't remember the sonic screwdriver. In the future, her mind was wiped. So these are future regenerations rather than nobody's fault that these actually could be future regenerations. Let's try and put this together, actually, because I'm rambling, but I don't care. I'm quite excited. Because if you were watching brand new Doctor Who later on today, you'd be buzzing and you'd be rambling. So people have first of all said, the TARDIS looks like the one in Mark Gatiss' adventure in space and time. Oh, it must be the classic TARDIS. But how about this? The TARDIS can change her design whenever she freaking wants. And if she wants to go back to a classic design, why couldn't she do that, right? So think about that. So let's just say the TARDIS has redesigned herself to go back to what she looked like. But this is a future TARDIS and a future Doctor. And these other 12 regenerations could actually be future versions of the Doctor, right? Which means that now, of course, what shoots this down, that's a dangerous game to play because you're saying to people, these are in the Doctor's future. But you can be clever about this and say, way, way off in the future, like so many hundreds of thousands of years in the future, and they're not immediate future versions of the Doctor. So these could be future versions of the Doctor, and the TARDIS just redesigned herself to go back to the way she looked like originally. I don't know everything about Doctor Who, as I've just confessed, but I do believe that is a possibility, that these regenerations, including Ruth, are future versions of the Doctor. And actually, Chris Chibnall hasn't said that's off the table, right? He's also said no Captain Jack in the finales, right? No Captain Jack in the finales. We'll see about that. We'll see how honest this guy actually is. And can I be honest with you? Why would a showrunner actively shoot down theories which excite people, right? And why would he shoot down that Captain Jack's not in the finale? These are reasons to trick people into watching the finale. And you shouldn't really need to trick people into watching Doctor Who. But yeah, so that's a theory that these are future versions of the Doctor. I just don't think Chibnall's going to go pre-Hartnell. If he does, obviously, it's the classic fans, I think, I'm more of an issue with this going pre-Hartnell. And the whole thing with the Series 6B theory, not Moffat 6B, but original 6B, is a good theory where it was a regeneration, I think, just after Troughton, just before Pertwee, and there's been comic books written about it and stuff like that. It's a good theory if there's only one extra Doctor we've never met, but there's not. These other versions are happening. We are going to meet them, the Timeless Children. But if I'm wrong about that, then the Master and the Doctor are the Timeless Children. What I love about this arc is that the potential is limitless. And this is why we've got all these different theories. So that's what I'm thinking about this two-part finale. Now, I want to talk about the diminishing ratings in Doctor Who. So because we all kind of see the fandom menace getting very excited about this every Monday. They're like dogs on heat. Low ratings, yes! A female Doctor isn't working, they're going to cancel it a week ago. I was right, but anyway, I want to analyse this. Since Russell T Davies left the production, the ratings have steadily fell down, right? Get my words right. Now, the Moffat era started off solid in ratings, but slowly, his era was leaking ratings, left, right and centre. Nobody can deny that. Nobody can rewrite history. I like the Moffat era. I like elements of it. I like the fairy tale element of it as well. But I prefer the Russell T Davies era. The Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who is something that appealed to so many different types of people. And it worked. Families, individuals, men, women, single people, everyone watched Doctor Who, and Doctor Who was winning awards left, right and centre, which doesn't happen. So the diminishing ratings have been happening since the End of Time went off the air and Moffat took over, and they've been going down. Then all of a sudden, I mean, The Woman Who Fell to Earth had this amazing kind of shoot up in ratings, even beating RTD's first episode, Rose, which not even Moffat could do, right? I think The Day of the Doctor got close, I think. I can't remember the exact ratings for that. That was a massive event. So ratings went up. So that was the BBC's and Chibnall's, that was their chance to keep those people. And they didn't. But the ratings last year were still falling, but they were falling steadily after that, because if you're going to get over 10 million viewers, they're not all going to stay. But I thought the drop-off from episode 1 to episode 2 was pretty good and kind. And episode 3, but I think after episode 3, when it all became too standalone and watered down, people were slowly losing interest. But the ratings were solid. And I think this year what we've seen is the ratings have gone down again. And what you're seeing is that was a reaction from season 11. That's people saying, we didn't particularly hate it. We didn't particularly enjoy it. It was May. It was a shoulder shrug. You should be doing better. And this season, more often than not, Chibnall has done better. And the better thing that he's done is this arc. It's got everyone talking and a lot of people excited. The problem he still has are a lot of his standalones are still very dull and not very interesting. And I think the problem with that is having a Doctor that is a bit like Marmite. That's not everyone's cup of tea. It's three companions who haven't had any life or personality injected inside them. You need characters that people enjoy watching, so more people will come in for the filler episodes. I still think only 10 episodes a season. There should be no fillers or waste of time episodes. But then, as a showrunner, as a storyteller, you've got to make these episodes look like they matter and they're important, just like in the RTD era and in the Stephen Moffat era. So I think that's something that Chibnall can certainly improve on. And I think in terms of these companions, it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked, and I think that Chris Chibnall is going to have to start again. I know they're trying to inject some kind of personality into Yaz all of a sudden. People are criticising Ryan. They say the actor doesn't have a good acting ability. I don't believe that. I just think the character hasn't been fleshed out enough. None of these characters have really. They fleshed out Graham a little bit last year, and then they thought, we fleshed you out now, we're leaving you. The fleshing out must always continue in storytelling and characters. And I just feel that hasn't happened. So I think he's going to kill them all off or one of them will survive and decide to go home. And I think he's going to start again. Now, Mandip Gill was talking at an event to the Radio Times. She was there on her own without her castmates. She was very excitable. She's very excited for the finale, but she can't talk about it. She also can't talk about if she's back. She said, they never tell us anything. I don't know yet. I hope so. So that's interesting. So what do I think about this? I've been around for quite a long time and I know double talk and bullshit. I'm a bullshit sniffer. So let me tell you what this means. This means Yaz's fate in the series finale is probably open-ended, maybe a cliffhanger, but it may be something we will never find out about in Doctor Who. And I think that's why she's saying she doesn't know. Or it is just a cliffhanger and she doesn't want to reveal if she's back or not because it's a cliffhanger that has to be revealed, which would say she's back for more. I love Mandip Gill. I think she's a great character. I think she can act. I think they all can. People labelling bad acting is like what I said yesterday about Jodie. And people accusing her of being a bad actor. It's not about that. It's about the writing. It's about the food and drink you give actors. And I've said this before. RTD used to say this, that David Tennant loves acting and having good kind of stuff to act with. It's like food and drink to an actor. And that's what it is. And I just feel that these actors haven't had enough food and drink to fuel them and to fuel their performances, including Jodie. And I think Jodie's had a little bit more, and I'm very interested to see what they do with this character of her Doctor, because I said it yesterday, my theory is he started really light, really positive, and she ends up becoming a darker and a darker Doctor as her era continues. I would watch the crap out of that. That would be amazing to me. So we'll see what happens. As I say, you can't judge season 12 until you've seen the whole thing, right? And so I'll judge it. I'll review the whole season when I've seen it. But I don't think I'll change my opinion that some of the standalone episodes, like Orphan 55, really need regular characters that have been fleshed out and people are excited to see. There's episodes with Rose and the Doctor that are not great episodes, but you care about Rose and the Doctor, so you will watch them. So that's always important as well, to have characters that the public want to watch. But what do you think? Please comment down below. Yes, I'm about to go and watch Ascension of the Cybermen, Part 1 of the Season 12 finale of Doctor Who. I can't wait. I'll let you know if I liked it or not. I won't let you know anything else, obviously, because it's more than my life is worth. But I'm really excited for this finale. And then there'll be no Doctor Who till New Year's Day, and then we'll have to wait a year. But that's the way it goes. It just keeps us hungry for more Doctor Who. And luckily, we've got all those episodes of Doctor Who made in the past. We can review them. I can start reviewing Big Finish on the Doctor Who Daily as well after the season's over. So there's always great and exciting Doctor Who content to talk about. See you again on the Doctor Who Daily tomorrow.